Women leaders of the next generation step into the chamber and waste no time sounding like lawmakers in their own right. From the House to the Senate, the big question is this: should Antigua and Barbuda's cannabis laws go back under the microscope? The sitting comes just a day after International Women's Day, but this is more than ceremony. The 2026 YWIL cohort are debating whether a joint select committee should review cannabis laws already on the books. In the House of Representatives, supporters argue that passing laws is only half the job. They say Parliament must also test whether those laws are working fairly in real life.
Passing a law is not the end of Parliament's job. It is the beginning of Parliament's responsibility. Good law must not only sound good on paper, but it must work in practice. If legislation creates uncertainty or unintended consequences, then responsible governance demands review.
But on the opposition side, there is strong pushback. Some argue the country does not need another committee, another report, or another year of study, especially if early reviews have already identified what needs fixing.
That report, which seems to have vanished into a legislative black hole, addressed implementation gaps. It addressed the very human rights and gender concerns this motion claims to be worried about. And yet, here we sit in 2026, and that report is gathering dust.
Over in the Senate, the tone is just as serious. Supporters say confusion around the law, especially in public spaces, shows why a closer review is needed.
Cannabis use. The issue before us is confusion, the general misconception of an entire nation. What exactly constitutes a public space? Where are the boundaries? What are the penalties? What is permitted inside a home versus outside?
Still, not everyone in the upper house is convinced. Opponents say a review this broad could create more uncertainty, especially when implementation is still unfolding and public health questions still need long-term data.
Madam President, if we are to review the cannabis policy, that process must be grounded in long-term population-based data, rigorous public health research, and careful medical evaluation. We must avoid a situation where policy debates move faster than science needed to guide them.
The second Young Women in Leadership cohort is showing that the next generation of leadership is already learning how to argue policy, challenge assumptions, and hold the system to account. And on the question of cannabis reform, these young voices say they want policy that is not just modern, but meaningful. Jamie J. Roacher, ABS